Hi everyone. Today's video is on estimating in a word problem. The big thing to remember about estimating is that usually when we talk about estimating, we're talking about rounding. And if we're going to be rounding, we should always do that before we do any operation. Okay, so today you're going to need to divide your paper into 3 sections like I'm showing here. Your title up at the top, and then divide your paper like shown on the screen. Alright, so in the first section, we're going to talk about words that signal estimation, which means rounding. So write this, and I want you to put in this blue box, estimation, and that estimation means rounding. Alright, so the first words we have is about how many. Whenever you see that, that signals for you to estimate, which means to round. We also have the word approximately. You may also just see the word estimate or estimate. What is the best estimate? Or it might even tell you just to round or that the number is rounded. So anytime you see any of these words in a word problem, that signals to you that you need to estimate, which means that you need to round. Okay, so what you need to do now is take the first word problem, the one that starts with Manuel, and paste it on the second section of your notebook. It should look like this, where you still have space on the side and on the bottom to continue writing. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is read our question. That's always the first thing we look at because our question tells us what we're looking for and what we need to do. So here the question says, about how many marbles do they have all together? Already I can see that word about. Let me make it a little lower. About. It's very important to note that word because that's one of the ones that we saw that signal estimation. So it's asking me about, I know already that I'm going to have to round first, about how many marbles altogether. Make sure you underline those because that's what we're looking for. How many marbles altogether. Now the word altogether signals addition. When I want everything put together, I want to add them. So now I need to look for my information. Manuel, Nathan, and Jacob were counting their marble collections. Manuel had 137 marbles, Nathan had 198 marbles, and Jacob has 204 marbles. So I know I want all of them all together. I need Manuel with his 137, Nathan with his 198, and Jacob with his 204. So since I saw that word about, it tells me I have to round first. I'm going to start with 137. Since it's a 3-digit number, I'm going to choose to round to the hundreds place. I underline my hundreds place, I circle my helper. My helper tells me that I need to let it rest, so I'm going to leave it alone and everything to the right becomes a 0. My new number is 100. Now I have 198. Underline my hundreds, circle my helper. The 9 tells me I need to add one more. So I'm going to add one more to the hundreds place. That makes it a 2. Everything else becomes a 0. My rounded number is 200. Then I have 204. Underline my hundreds place. Circle my helper. 0 tells me I need to let it rest, so the 100 place stays the same. And 204 is rounded to the number 200. Now I still need to put them all together because it asks how many marbles all together. So I'm going to take 100 plus 200 plus 200. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. That tells me that they have 500 marbles altogether. Okay, make sure you have followed all of these steps. So this here you can see that when I saw the word about, it signaled rounding, and I did my rounding first because that makes my operation of addition that much easier. All I had to do was add the 2, and the 1. Okay, so now you're going to paste your second problem into your notebook, and it should look like this, just like before, space on the bottom and space on the side. Okay, so again, we're going to start by reading the question first. Approximately how many more nonfiction books does she have than fiction books? So I see the word approximately. Again, approximately, like we wrote before, is one of the words that signals estimation. Now it's asking me how many more. How many more? Signal subtraction, because I'm comparing. I'm comparing nonfiction to fiction. Okay, so now I'm ready to read the rest of the problem. Ms. Rodarte has a very big collection of books in her classroom library. She has 426 fiction books and 563 nonfiction books. So I know I need fiction and I need nonfiction like the question told me. Since it said approximately, I have to round first. I'm going to take 426. Again, since I have a 3-digit number, I'm choosing to round to the hundreds place. I underline my hundreds place, I circle my helper. My helper says to let it rest, so my hundreds place stays the same. This number gets rounded to 400. Now I have 563. Underline my hundreds place, circle my helper. My helper tells me to add one more, so that 5 becomes a 6 in the hundreds place. Everything to the right becomes a 0. This number is now rounded to 600. Now I already decided that my operation here is subtraction, because it says how many more, and that's telling me to compare. I want to know how many more nonfiction books there are than fiction. I have 600 nonfiction books, and I'm going to take away the 400 fiction. 6 minus 4 is 2. That tells me that there are 200 more nonfiction books. Alright, and that was our lesson on estimation. We follow the same problem solving plan as always. Read the question first, underline the important information there, then go back to read the rest of the problem and circle the important information we're going to need. Choose your strategy and solve. Here our strategy included estimation, which is always done before the operation. So now your notes should look like this at the end. Make sure you have everything there and be prepared to discuss. Bye.